Welcome to drawing class with Mr. Smith. For our project today, we're going to be still working on our pencil value studies. So as we're working through our pencil value studies, you are going to need to thoroughly demonstrate your skill in using the full range of pencil values in a series of 3 drawings. We're going to do geometric forms, which is what we're going to work on today. We're also going to do a work from reference. It can be another artist, a photo, or real life. And then the third value study is going to be your own choice. All of your drawings need to show the whole range of values from the darkest black to lightest white. So from your value study scale, your pencil value study scale that we did yesterday, you need to make sure that you're showing all of those values. And all of these are going to start with a medium value, which is to say something that's roughly in the middle. For this project, you are going to need a pencil. I'm going to use my ebony pencil because I like the ebony pencil for how soft it is. For the geometric forms, we're going to need a ruler. You're also going to need a blending stick and a couple of different erasers. Got a kneaded eraser and also a gum eraser there. Okay, so we need to start with a medium value. This is what you're all going to do today. I've just got a regular piece of printer paper here. Obviously, if you have drawing paper or something, that might work a little better. So I'm going to start by filling in my whole page. You know what? Turns out maybe we do need to do it a little, a little bit better. Overall. All right, taking our blending stick. Gonna blend this all together. If you're at home and don't have a blending stick, you could hypothetically use your finger, or maybe, I don't know, some like soft cardboard maybe. You could use a Q-tip. That's pretty much blended. This is gonna be our base. All of your value studies are gonna start this way, where you just do a basic medium value to begin with on your whole spread there. Next up, you are going to sketch some 3-dimensional forms. So pretty much everybody is going to sketch the same forms. We're going to do a triangular prism, a square, a sphere, and a cylinder. We're going to use our ruler. It is advisable to sketch these much lighter than I am sketching these, because when you are doing your actual shading, if you've got super dark lines for all of your shapes, that's going to obviously affect the look of your object. So I'm going to do my square here, put a couple of vanishing points. So I am going to make my prism stab into my circle. So, oh, I guess I should have done that to the vanishing point. Oops. Once again, this is not a demo over doing vanishing points. This is a demo for value studies. This is not a very circular sphere. Hang in there, I'm freehanding it, stop judging me. The next step is to go in and add your lights and your whites by using your erasers. So we're going to imagine our light is coming from over here and it's in the front. So I am going to start by lightening up the face of this triangle. Going to be my highlight. This is going to be my whitest white. If you go too far, obviously you can add your shading back in. I think starting out by doing your medium value over the whole thing is a really interesting way to do a work like this. And also, I think ultimately it will save you a lot of time instead of starting with your shapes. You know what I mean? Maybe. Hypothetical person watching this. So remember, you're going to need to erase anything that's going to be lighter than your medium tone on your value scale. I've got my lights in there now. Your next step, step 4, is to add your dark values and your blacks, your blackest blacks. I'm going to use my ebony pencil for this. Okay, so here's a really well-drawn schematic here of all the things we're looking for. In all of your shapes, you want your highlight, your midtones, the core of your shadow, your reflected light, and then your cast shadow. So just between those, that's 5. And for your midtones, you can get several different grades of shading there. So squares are interesting. The sphere, I feel like, is a lot more straightforward. But on our square, our darkest darks are going to be right down here, sort of where our sphere is casting a little bit of a shadow on this. I would recommend starting light and then adding more if you need it to be darker. You can always add more. It's much easier to add than it is to take away. I'll put an image up here on the board for reference, so you can sort of have something to check on for your overall image. So we've got kind of a shadow being cast by this prism onto our cube here. Next up, I'm going to hit up my triangular prism. I'm going the underside of this triangle is going to be real dark. While you're doing these, don't be afraid to experiment around with your different tools. See how they work. That's the point of all this, is to get you more comfortable with all your tools. Alright, going in for my sphere here. Core of my shadow. I'm going to go ahead and draw that one pretty dark because I know that's going to be, since it's the shadow core, I can feel pretty safe about making a pretty dark crescent there. Alright, and then on our cylinder, got our darkest darks over here, away from the light, our core shadow over here, which we're going to go ahead and take all the way down to the ground. So make sure you don't forget to include your cast shadows. So obviously, if you're drawing this from reference, you'd have a much better idea of where your cast shadows would be as well. That's why it's important to actually draw from reference rather than just making things up out of your head. So, there is your final product. So, we started with just a blank piece of paper and added a medium value shading. Then we sketched in our geometric forms, added light and white values by drawing with erasers. Then we added our dark and black values with our ebony pencil. If you're watching this from home, go ahead and give this a try. If you don't have an ebony pencil, you can just use a regular pencil. Regular eraser will do the job too. But if you do have blending sticks, ebony pencils, and erasers, it's going to be easier. Thanks for watching! Oh, it looks fine on my screen. Sorry, this is this is how I demo stuff.